My name is Lawrence Keating. I went to the United States Army at 17 years old in 1966. I was stationed in Okinawa for a year. I volunteered to go to Vietnam. The United States government was nice enough to send me to Vietnam. I did 2 tours in Vietnam. I became a sergeant. I was discharged in May of 1969. At that time, I had a substance abuse problem. I had an alcohol problem. I had PTSD from the many things that I had witnessed in the city of Hue and Dong Ha when they were overrun during the Tet Offensive. I got married 3 years later after I got back. I met my wife. We tried to have a married life. I had to get into treatment. I became a clinical social worker. I dealt with PTSD. I dealt with substance abuse. And I believe that the answer to both PTSD and substance abuse, because I'm in private practice and been able to be helpful in other people's lives, is a spiritual pathway to addiction and PTSD so that people can live happy and joyful lives.
Sometimes I wish he never started with treatment. It seems that years back it was front and center, and then it kind of dissipated after he got out of treatment. And now that he's been back in treatment for the past couple of years, it has resurfaced all the anger, all the hostility, the kicking, the nightmares. It just seems, for my own personal uh, feeling, is that for him, I wish that this had never been brought up to the surface again. And for me, it's very hard for me to sit and watch this year after year, night after night. And no one can really appreciate the I want to call it trauma that he goes through. The the nightmares are so intense. It's just it's unbearable, and no one who has ever walked in his shoes knows what he goes through. And it's very upsetting. It's very upsetting. And part of me wishes that he never started again because he wouldn't be in this horrific mindset again. So, and it's difficult for me to sit back and watch someone that you love have to go through this. It's not what I go through, but unless someone sleeps in my bed for one night, they have no idea. No idea what this man goes through.
When I decided 3 years ago to go through this again for the third time, having had no results the first 2 times, I said to Diana, my hope is that I get before Congress and I can testify about the treatment that I never received that I should have received. It brings up all these old memories, and some of them are very, very difficult to deal with. And if I don't deal with them, they just manifest themselves in very different ways. It's true that this makes it worse, but my goal is from doing this, the guys who come back today are treated the same damn way. Worse, because they are sent over and over again, 3 times, 4 times. You can't put somebody through these traumatic events this many times. I did it twice, and it's 45 years later, and I'm still having the symptoms, even though I look different, even though I'm not in my 20s. These guys, who's going to help them if nobody's going to step up to the plate? Nothing's going to happen to them. They end up in institutions, they end up in jails. When I initially went to the VA this time, had been there twice before, every time I got a diagnosis of PTSD and the Agent Orange poisoning from the fact that we're married 45 years in July. And we don't have any children. We lost 10. And that's something that we have to deal with as a married couple. Beside that, I went there. I have 3 psychiatrists that diagnosed me with PTSD. One who still prescribes till this day. Had 4 psychologists, 4 of them, who say I meet every symptom for PTSD. I went for the interview to get the pension. The psychologist, also with the VA, says I have no symptoms. So we have 4 psychologists, 3 psychiatrists that say I have every symptom, meet the criteria, and yes, the one who does the assessment says I don't have any. And one of them said to me, "This must bring up anger in you." I said, "You have no idea what it is bring up anger. I'm sick to death of being told that I'm a liar. I'm tired of them telling me I wasn't there when they have absolute proof. Where I was overrun. There's no doubt. I have a history of difficulties coming out of Vietnam for which nobody treated me, nobody gave a damn, nobody showed up in the airport and said welcome home, nobody said welcome home when I got here. I became homeless, I became addicted, nobody gave a damn. When I wanted to go to school, they said it took me too long to recover from the symptoms of PTSD because the 10 years had expired. We sold the home we had for 18 years to pay for the education, and now 44 years later, whatever the hell it is, they still don't want to give me the pension. Not about the money. It's about the fact that they continue to tell me I'm a liar.
What I think is important to understand, everybody should understand, is this mission that he's trying to get through to this day has nothing to do with anyone giving him money. It appears to me, my own personal opinion is, they figure he's gone to school, bettered himself, has a job, he doesn't need the money. So that's their way of poo pooing him off the charts. And again, I really firmly believe that they're just waiting for all the Vietnam veterans to die and go away, and that way they don't ever have to deal with this. They don't really care.